Give you a little bit of commentary on this rehearsal fight scene footage. This footage actually was just something that we were putting together just as kind of a test of a little bit of slow motion and a little bit of some of the martial arts blocking that we were trying to do. Um, on this type of project, you have to be careful, and it's always good to have rehearsal whenever you're doing fight scenes or anything with stunts. This was also a test of 120 frames per second on the red camera with our director of photography, Christopher Commons, and Michael Rogers. We didn't really have the proper light on this, but this was just tests, so we didn't really, weren't really trying too hard to make it look cinematic. But we were trying a few things in post-production, just trying some things with ramping and, like slowing down and speeding up like you'd see in a lot of action movies nowadays. There is a lot of speed ramping and things like that. And essentially, when you see that kind of stuff, it kind of impacts the violence, perhaps. And sometimes you can get away with things you wouldn't normally be able to do, shooting at normal 24 frames per second. So the 120 frames gives us a little bit of that really glass-like, smooth, slow motion stuff. I'm a big fan of John Woo movies, and I love that type of slow motion effect. Okay, so I've been working on this project for approximately, wow, it's coming up on 10 years. The math in this little clip doesn't really add up to 10 years, but I've been working on this thing for a while. I'm just showing the evolution of the mask. Essentially, the mask started off as a drawing, and then it became a physical prop, which I commissioned to make, and then it just kind of grew from there. There is a documentary on the channel called Behind the Mask that goes a little bit more into detail about that. But in these stills and stuff, you can see just kind of testing out some looks with Iron Joe, and unfortunately, the autofocus was my enemy at this point. So I was, kind of being an idiot and didn't realize that I was on focus. But I was just testing this out. I never really intended to show this stuff, but it makes for something interesting to look at while I'm kind of yakking about the project. But Iron City Chronicles is a very, very, very passion project. It has a lot of cool stuff in it that I like. Stuff you might see in Terminator and RoboCop, or my favorite film of all time, Blade Runner. Some of that noir stuff, Cyberpunk. Really, really, really cool stuff, and that's kind of becoming in fashion right now in films. And the stuff that I thought was cool as a kid is now it's now almost kind of mainstream in a strange way. I mean, it's always kind of been mainstream, but it's now more acceptable to have these really, really fantastic concepts in the media, and I'm really, really excited about that. We'd really like to reach out to science fiction and fantasy communities because I feel like there's a real hunger for that in the current filmmaking world, and especially audiences with all the comic book films that are coming out and with all of the really fantastic concepts. There are some concepts that are being touched upon in our project that are actually being touched upon in bigger studio released projects, and things such as singularity and transcendence. If you're interested in science fiction, if you're interested in the possibility of melding technology with the human body and coming up with some very interesting results. Iron City Chronicles is a very ambitious project, and I hope that the rest of you can become citizens of Iron City. And I apologize for the haphazard way I delivered this little thing, but just kind of shooting from the hip, just finding a place for this behind the scenes stuff. And we also have social media, so you want to check us out on Iron City Chronicles on Facebook. You can also check us out on Twitter, Tumblr. We're going to be putting out new content every week on the Iron City Chronicles channel on YouTube, so please subscribe and like it. Thank you.